Well, it's a magical Monday evening here in the city of Lagos. Hello and welcome once again to Game On, the show where you get all the latest breaking, informative, exciting, titillating sports news from across the world. My name is Babatunde Koiki. Thank you for joining us. I know it's coming to you a bit late, but of course, we had another live show that we had to hook up to. But trust me, the remaining time that we have, we will try as much as possible to bring you all the, juicy stories that you have been waiting for. Don't forget, we're streaming live on YouTube. We're also available on our social media handles, X, Facebook, and Instagram. Thank you once again for joining us. I'm not alone. Adebari joins us, as well as Onyewuchi Nwachukwu, Deputy Editor of Sportinglife newspaper. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah,
good to be here.
Yeah, of course. So without further ado, let's dive right into the show. And of course, let's start with this news coming out of the Africa Games. The games have already started, in case you didn't know, and it was the table tennis event that actually started today. And some sad news for Nigerian table tennis fans. Teenage sensation, 12-year-old Matthew Kuti has been eliminated from the men's table tennis single event after losing to Algeria's Mahedine Bella in the second round. Matthew Kuti actually won his first game against a Ghanaian opponent, but he lost to the older Agbaya, do I say it, Mahedine Bella, by 3-1. Of course, Matthew Kuti actually came to the limelight last year in December when he won 2 national titles in the space of 24 hours, winning the maiden Daniel Ford Youth Championship, as well as the one-day Renewed Hope Top 20 Invitational Challenge in December. Well, he's the first Nigerian player to crash out of the men's singles event. Well, to be honest, it was always going to be a big ask for a 12-year-old, but it is in line with the Nigerian Table Tennis Federation's idea of exposing the finest young talent in Nigeria to continental competitions as quickly as possible.
I think there's nothing to be ashamed of for Matthew Kuti. At 12 years, it means that you have like 20 years, to play table tennis. And at this level, he's been exposed to the best on the continent. So it's a developmental process for him. Yes, maybe at the stage of the African Games, you could say it's more like the Olympic Games of Africa.
Yeah.
But I think this is the way forward for sports development in this country. A player, that's the way the lives of Yomi Bankole, Atonda Musa were discovered. When we were growing up.
Idris Abdul Karim.
Absolutely. When we were growing up in Agege, in some parts of Lagos, you see kids 8, 9, 10 years.
Some of them are barely as tall as the table.
So that is the way. You shouldn't be ashamed. I think the officials of Nigerian Table Tennis Federation should be able to counsel him that this is not the end of the world. This is just the beginning for him. Yeah. After all, he won his first game against a Ghanaian opponent. So the man that defeated him, like you called him, Agbaya, much better than him. So you shouldn't be ashamed. I think it's good.
And your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. So this is Matthew Kuti is an example of me saying, let's invest in our grassroots system. Look, the Asians, the reason why they are so good today is because they start to groom their stars from a very, very young age.
As early as 5?
Yeah, as early as 5. Haruna Kwari, thankfully, is putting his son through the ropes as well. So hopefully we can also see him go toe-to-toe with the likes of Matthew Kuti. But look, it's positive for me. Onyewuchi said it already. This is just the beginning. Great more things to see from Matthew Kuti.
And still sticking with table tennis, there was some interesting news coming out over the weekend regarding very interesting news coming out from Nigerian Table Tennis Federation. We heard that the ministry tried to have them drop Hope Uduaka, who is actually one of the finest young players in Nigeria as well, one of the finest young female players, in favor of veteran Cecilia Otu. Now, Cecilia Otu hadn't played for Nigeria in like a year, but the ministry tried to intervene for the Table Tennis Federation to drop Hope Uduaka in favor of Cecilia Otu. That's really surprising, actually.
Yeah, I think these are not positive vibes coming from the federation. We don't have anything against.
So is this the federation who did this, or the federal ministry?
Or the ministry? No, the federation is in charge.
Yes.
I'm not holding the officials and the positive, negative vibe from the federation. We don't have anything against Cecilia Otu. She has done so well for Nigeria at when she was active, but she has not played for over a year. So what is the rationale? What is the criteria, for dropping a young, promising player like Hope Uduak, for Cecilia Otu? So Hope Uduaka. So those are the questions. But thankfully, I think reasoning prevailed, And this aide of the sports minister was not allowed to have his way.
Okay, so it was an aide of the Minister of Sports.
Of the Minister of Sports.
So not the minister
Not
himself.
the minister.
Okay.
I don't know if the minister is aware. I don't know if he had a tacit approval of the minister. But what we learned is that at the airport, NTTF officials resisted the move by the so-called aide of the minister to impose Cecilia Otu in the team. This is not the way to go. We have just celebrated Nwachukwu, and Hope Oduaka should also be allowed to learn the ropes. And I think the lives of Funko Shinaki started at a very young age. The lives of Aaron Okwadri started at a very young age. So we should encourage these younger players.
I totally.
They are the future of the game in this country.
I totally agree. And hopefully, thankfully, wiser heads prevailed and ensure that Nigeria's best athletes, Nigeria's brightest and most promising athletes will be on show at the Africa Games in Accra. Let's move on very quickly and tell you that the matches were played in the Nigeria Professional Football League this weekend. Some really great games, some excellent results. And it is full steam ahead towards the end of the season as we try to find out who will be champions of the NPFL 2023-2024 season. So on Saturday, this game actually took place. It was Remo Stars versus Bayelsa United. Remo Stars with a lone goal victory, putting them back in the mix as they try to win the NPFL for the first time ever in their history. This game took place on Saturday. Then on Sunday, it was 4 games that came through. Heartland of Owerri playing out a 1-1 draw with Sunshine Stars. Lobby Stars of Makurdi also defeating Katsina United by 2-0. Niger Tornadoes losing by 2-0 at home to Enugu Rangers. Brilliant result for Enugu Rangers. They are now on a 5-game winning streak. Absolutely. They have not conceded any goal in 5 games. And they have won all those 5 games. So that's brilliant. We also heard interesting news. The general manager of Enugu Rangers was actually substituted on as a player. We'll talk about that in a minute, Onye. But Plateau United also defeated Bendel Insurance by 2-0. These matches were played on Sunday. Then on Monday, Doma United played out a goalless draw with Sporting Lagos. Excellent result for Sporting Lagos. Doma United, I'm talking about the Pantami Stadium in Gombe, is not an easy place to go. So coming back from there unscathed, that's applause must go in favor of Sporting Lagos. Then Aqua United thrashed Enyimba by 3-1. That was a surprising result, considering the fact that Enyimba have been pretty good, while Aqua United have been pretty poor. Big surprise there. But now the biggest surprise was this one. Kano Pillars losing 1-0 to Abia Warriors. Now, something is definitely going on Abia Warriors. Remember, the coach, Rasosono, I believe, was been suspended.
Absolutely.
So, you have to give props to the Nigeria Professional Football League. Always something interesting happening.
Yeah, Betalogy took over. You remember Betalogy?
Yeah.
He took over
no
after
nonsense defender.
Yeah. After Erasmus Ono was suspended, and a lot of people are saying maybe this could be the turnaround for Abia Warriors. I don't know. This is just early days. It's still a long way. Winning away from home may not necessarily mean that the team is going to be consistent. So let's see what happens in the next couple of games to see whether Betalogy has come to stay.
Okay. Well, let's move on very quickly now. Like we said, it's an abridged show, so we have to make sure we run through all this as quickly as possible. Let's quickly show you. There's one fixture that is meant for tomorrow in the NPFL as well. It's Gombe United versus Shooting Stars. That's a really good game to look forward to as well. Shooting Stars have been a bit iffy on the road, but we'll see how that will pan out. But let's look at the table now as it currently stands. Let's look at the top 6 in the NPFL. These are the top teams as it stands in the NPFL. Lobby Stars leading the way with 42 points. Plateau United in second place with 41. Enugu Rangers, who are having the time of their lives. Look at that. Green. That's 5 straight wins for Lobby Star, for Enugu Rangers, and it's Remo Stars in 4th place as well. Enyimba in 5th, and Kano Pillars in 6th place. Of course, remember, Kano Pillars lost at home. Let's look at the bottom 6 now. The last 6 teams propping up the rest of the NPFL. Heartland of Owerri are also bottom now as we speak. That result has not changed their situation. It's really not looking good for Heartland. They might be relegated this season. Gombe United 2nd from bottom. Aqua United 3rd from bottom. Aqua United were champions of the NPFL barely 3 seasons ago. And it's shocking to see them struggling. Niger Tornadoes just above them, while just outside the relegation zone, Kwara United, who have a game in hand, they didn't play against Rivers United, who are on the continent with 25 points, while Bayelsa United are also just outside the relegation zone as well. Moving on very quickly, there were matches played in the CAF Champions League this weekend as well. And the results was match day 6, which means that we now know the 8 teams that have qualified for the quarterfinals of the CAF Champions League. CAF Champions League, this is just a CAF Confederation Cup first. But let's quickly show you the CAF Champions League results first. Results from the CAF Champions League. And it's really good to see that the CAF Champions League is also really... Al Ahly is also in the mix as well, but it's looking pretty good for the top teams in Africa. But this is the CAF Confederation Cup as well. Diablina and Sekokune of South Africa played as a goalless draw. Club Africain and Academica Lobito. Dramatic game, this one, Onye. Academica Lobito had lost every single game, home and away, until this one, but they somehow pulled out a draw away in North Africa, which was really, really surprising. Future of Egypt also thrashed Al Hilal Omdurman of Sudan by 5-0. Rivers United also needed a late winner in order to turn dreams into nightmares for the Ghanaian visitors. 2-1, that finished at the Godswill Stadium in Uyo. USM Alger also defeated Super Sports United by 2-1. But RSB Berkane of Morocco thrashing Stade Malien by 3-0, while Sagrada Esperanza of Angola also beat Abu Salim of Libya by 3-0 as well. Let's quickly tell you the teams that have qualified for the quarterfinals of the CAF Confederation Cup now. And of course, Rivers United are there. Thankfully, they finished second in their group, so that's pretty good for them as well. There you see the 4 teams that have qualified for the knockout phase of the CAF Confederation Cup. Zamalek in that mix as well. RSB Berkane, unsurprising, there as well. So it's really good to see a Nigerian team make it into the knockout phase of Africa's continental competitions for the first time in quite a long time, but Rivers United, more than any team in Nigeria, have been more consistent over the last few years.
Definitely they have, and I'm very, very happy to see them there. I was sad at the beginning of the season when they dropped down from the CAF Champions League. I thought maybe the season was going to derail, but honestly, they got into the Confederations Cup and they kicked into second gear. Maybe too late, maybe could have done it better in the CAF Champions League, but honestly, they are doing so much more better. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do in the quarterfinals. I know the management is very much excited. They feel like they can, energize the players to actually concentrate properly and get results over the line. But it will be difficult because they will also have tough NPFL games coming up. They will be looking forward to finishing in a very, very good position in the NPFL as well. So it's going to be, should I say, a strange time for them where they're going to be having important fixtures back to back. Now it's going to be a question of how well can they manage their squad? How well can they churn out good results? So I'm looking forward to seeing Rivers United in action in the CAF Confederation Cup quarterfinals.
Okay, speaking about Rivers United or anything that has to do with Rivers football, you have to talk to one man based in Port Harcourt. China Acheru, former media officer of Dolphins Football Club and experienced journalist extraordinaire. He joins us live all the way from Port Harcourt. Now, China, it's absolutely an absolute delight to talk to you tonight. Thank you again for joining us. So, anything that has to do with Rivers United, we have to talk to you. But no surprise. Was it surprising for you, considering the fact that Rivers United seemed to struggle a little, but the fact that they made it into the knockout phase?
Naturally, that was a surprise, but the way they took the last 15 minutes of that game, they never gave up. They never stopped pushing. They never stopped attacking. So it was obvious that the players knew that they could win that game. So it wasn't a surprise when that goal came. You don't win the lottery if you don't buy the tickets. They took the shots, they put pressure, they penetrated, did everything they had to do. And then again, there was the added boost because just as the game was about to end or just as regular time was about to be over, information came in that the game in Tunisia had ended 1-1. So you could see the bench of Rivers United, everybody was on their feet. It was like, you just have to win this game. Players pushed forward. They had to go for that goal. And then when the goal eventually came, it wasn't a surprise to me because I was there. I saw it all. The players worked hard for it. They never stopped pushing for it.
Well, China, how are you doing?
Very fine. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, it was full of drama. Like you said, a lot of twists. Rivers United needed a 2-0 victory. All of a sudden, Lobito equalized, and a lot of things changed. But playing away from home, Rivers United are used to the Adoke Amesemaka Stadium in Port Harcourt because of some reasons best known to CAF. They had to adopt the Godswill Stadium as their home ground, playing away from home, will you think that Rivers United would have been more comfortable playing in Port Harcourt than at the Godswill Stadium?
You always want to play at home, but the question here is this: what's the home advantage? Is it the fans? There still won't be fans at the stadium in Port Harcourt, or there still won't be many fans at the stadium in Port Harcourt. But it doesn't rule out the fact that it's your home ground. So you want to be at home. You want to be on a pitch you recognize, on a pitch you're used to. You want to look around the stadium and hear drum beats you're used to. I think that's the home advantage thing. So maybe if they are playing their games at the Adokia Messi Stadium in Port Harcourt, it could have been maybe better, maybe easier. Who knows? These are all conjecture. We can't tell. But everybody wants to play at home. You don't want to play away from home. So I could just agree with you, even though in these things, you really cannot tell on here.
Well, China, I really have to ask this question. Looking at how Rivers United have played this season and also the last few seasons, they seem to be the most consistent Nigerian football club on the continent, constantly making it into the group phase of major continental competitions. What is the secret behind them? Because a lot of players are leaving, the likes of Bolaji Saki and other key players. They always leave every season, but Rivers United have remained consistent campaigners on the African continent. What is the secret behind this?
Maybe it's the fact that the team pays some good money. So even though players have to leave, you can always attract the best in the land. Maybe that's just it. Maybe it's the fact that the team has a coach that has been there for 16 unbroken years. So maybe it brought some kind of a continuity in the coaching ranks with the team. Just maybe. Maybe it's element of luck. you really cannot tell. But one thing we know is that, like you said, in the past 4 seasons, Rivers have been consistent. I think it's the fact that because the team pays well, the team has been able to attract the best players in the country or some of the best players in the country. And that must count for something. It must count for something. But
China, that seems to be at the detriment of pushing for the Nigeria Professional Football League. There seems to be greater concentration on CAF Confederation competitions.
Well, you always want to go for the bigger one. You can win the league as much as you like. It's good to win the league. Rivers United have won the league. They won the league a few years ago. Then as Dolphins, they won the league in 2011. Then again in 2004. And as Eagle Cement in 1997. So you can say we've won the league about 5 times. You want to go for the bigger one. So not that you're taking your foot off the pedal a bit for the league. Every team has a preceding target, a preceding focus. And the focus has always been to win on the continent. Now, when was the last time any Nigerian club won on the continent? A lot of people would give you the dates. 2003, 2004, Eyimba in the CAF Champions League. We keep saying these dates as if it's just yesterday or 2 years ago. 2004 is 20 years ago. That's a long time.
Yeah.
It's a very long time. So every club wants to win on the continent, and Rivers is like every other club.
So China, would you say it's because of the greater, the fact that they can win $1 million if they win over $1 million if they win the CAF Confederation Cup? Is that it? The lure of winning the bigger prize, the more lucrative competition?
The money belongs to the club, not the players. The players will pay their match bonuses, and the governor could host them and receive them. So yes, the money is one thing; it belongs to the club. But it's the fact that I won the CAF Champions League. I was at the stadium today, Eyimba versus Aqua, or Aqua versus Eyimba. And when Obina Nwaneri walked in, he got a rousing welcome. Why? He's won the CAF Champions League.
Yeah.
There are things that you don't buy with money. So who doesn't want to be part of the squad that won the CAF Champions League? So you always want to aim for the higher one. So maybe their focus is on the continent. Yes, they fell out of the CAF Champions League and they're playing the CAF Confederation Cup. No Nigerian club has won the CAF Confederation Cup, not one.
True.
Dolphins got to the final in 2005, but no Nigerian club has won it. So you want to go for the higher one. Not that so the league, very important, but yes, the higher one is always better.
Okay. Okay, you have a question?
Yeah, China, good evening. Thank you very much for joining us on the show. I just have one question for you. In your own humble opinion, do you think the squad has enough quality to compete in the CAF Confederation Cup and actually finish in a very good place in the NPFL this season?
Let me say it this way. The squad has enough quality to finish well in the NPFL this season. No Nigerian team has what it takes to win the CAF Champions League or CAF Confederation Cup. Not Rivers United, not Eimba, not Aqua, not Remo. No Nigerian team has what it takes.
So you're throwing in the towel
So
now. Is that what you're telling us? That they're not going to win the CAF Confederation Cup?
I can bet you they're not going to win it.
Okay, that's fair enough. Considering the fact that they have any of the teams that any of the opposition that will be
they're going to do their best, right? They're probably going to win the first this knockout stage, the quarterfinal. They're going to do their best, but at some point, physical strength, brute force will not take you more than a certain point. You must have some quality.
And the likes of Zamalek, all these teams that they'll be facing in that quarterfinals.
Winning on the continent, right, is more than just getting good players. It's a whole unit. You have to do the playing personnel, the coaching personnel, the club mentality, it's a lot. The mentality of the fans is a lot. And no Nigerian club has that right now.
I understand.
Not one.
I totally agree with you, Chana Chera. As sad as it seems, as painful as it is the truth. But we want to thank you so much for joining us tonight on the show. We'll definitely be reaching back to you later on as Rivers United's progress. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Chana.
Three of you inviting me, I can't say no. Look at them.
That's 3-1. Don't forget, you actually owe the media officer
yes.
your glasses.
It's going to be well packaged. Yeah. Well packaged.
But thank you so much for joining us on the show. Thank you very much, Adebari.
Always a pleasure.
Nwachukwu, always a pleasure having you on the show. You're almost like furniture now. You're a permanent fixture. But thank you again to everyone behind the scenes who made this program possible. But before we go, let's tell you that in 2014, one player's life was saved during a football match, and it was a remarkable game. It was a game between Dynamo Kiev and Dnipro, and one of the players on the pitch, Oleg Gusev, was actually clattered into by the goalkeeper of the opposing team, crashed into, and he actually passed out on the pitch. Well, thanks to quick thinking by a player on the pitch whose name is Kankava, by interesting name. His name was Kankava. He actually reached down, put his hand into the player's mouth and pulled his tongue out of his mouth.
In the event of such an emergency. Yes. And it's very good. I think going forward, even the NPFL players should be taught what to do.
Okay, you agree?
First aid on the pitch, very, very important. We've seen that in European football as well, so it was good to see. And I hope that, God forbid, if we do have more situations like that in football, we have more brave players who are knowledgeable enough.
Signing on doctors to be part of the on-field staff as well. Thank you so much for joining us this evening on Game On. The show returns tomorrow. My name is Babatunde Koiki. Wishing you a wonderful evening. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.